Okay, this is part 4 of my debriefing of this trip, part 4. And after that lovely conversation, I didn't get that guy's name. I wish I had, but I can identify him. I can find out who he is because he said he had a twin brother, and I'll ask. I thought maybe I'll ask at the brewery, which was usually my last stop, and it should be open on Friday at 4. But when I went down there, it said closed. Nobody was parked there. And, I went to the door and I thought maybe they'll let me in, so all I want to do is talk. But I looked and there were people in there. The woman that owns it was there and they were busy, and I'm not going to bother them. So it was beginning to rain just a little bit and getting kind of unpleasant. I saw why they'd closed. They probably had no business at all. I'll find out later. But anyway, instead of and I was almost just as glad because I'd had a full day. Before I got in the car to drive home, I thought, well, I'm going to walk around the parking lot and see what's going on at the paper mill site. And sure enough, they were still working on it, getting it all the time, getting it cleaner. And then I started to walk back toward the car, and I noticed now that the leaves had fallen, because it's late, I looked down in there at the natural drain, and there was a penstock about that big around, cast iron, in concrete saddles, going right along beside the natural drain on the far side of it. And that was the route that the water was going from the big spring down to the paper mill site. And I thought, aha! I hadn't been able to see it before because of all the leaves. And I studied it more and continued to walk up and found also that there was a pipe about this big around that was stainless steel and welded. And I thought that must be the sewer line, down to the sewage treatment plant way down there. I'm sure it is. And so I continued up, and I could see all this now, and I could see right where that sewage line came underneath Main Street and turned, came over, did a 90, was held up on a stand, and then dropped about, not vertically, but dropped about 20 feet. And I thought, well, here's where the water wheel was, no doubt, either here or right near here. And, I looked a little bit more, and there might have been another pipe that was just a water supply, like drinking water supply. I don't know. But I had seen enough. I studied it some more, and I thought, okay, now I understand this stuff. And when at one point, when I looked down at, I don't know, I might have gone back and forth a couple times, I found a little tiny building where the penstock went underneath the railroad to get to the mill site. And in the mill site, there, something they hadn't taken out yet, were these huge concrete culvert sections. And I thought, well, that's what those guys at the machine shop said they saw the water pouring out of. So all of this stuff was making sense. And with that, I headed back to the car, headed home, and it was quite a day. I mean, on the way, I didn't want any more excitement, and I didn't really. I mean, I had to drive slow at times because of the Mennonite, not horse and buggy Mennonite, not Amish, horse and buggy Mennonites going along in their horses and buggies with their flashing lights because it was getting dark. All right, I have debriefed myself about a very educational trip. Bye for now.